industrial hemp is a jobs issue. They were talking jobs here. Yeah. New source for everything: food, fiber, fuel, paper, trees, lumber. You go down the list from cellophane to dynamite that you can make out of the plant. You can take refineries with some modification and create the fuels you need for your cars and the energy that you need to run the machinery and the electrical and all that stuff.
Mic check.
Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Who's the Time Magazine Person of the Year this year?
The protester.
We are the protesters. Those are willing to go out into the streets and take a chance and stand up against conventional wisdom, because the masses are wishy-washy. They'll agree with you to your face about anything, but they're just waiting to see what's going to happen. So it takes dedication and, above all, creativity to connect with the masses in the way we need to bring in numbers to pass a piece of legislation, or to shut down Wall Street, or a couple of things we're going to do the next year. So I like to remind people of, besides the compassionate grassroots ending prohibition argument we have, which again, the 99% is right about there, that this has been a nightmare, as it was with alcohol. I also like to remind people of the massive, growing, and yet kind of quiet industry forming around the world in cannabis. There are hemp cars being built in Canada and released into the marketplace right now. Many more coming right behind it. The pickup truck's coming soon. There are hemp houses being built in France and Germany by the thousands that are phenomenal. Everything in the Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi, the inside, it's all hemp plastic. The hemp food industry in Canada, they use it like we use soy and corn. You go to the grocery store, almost everything in the store has some soy or some corn in it. In Canada, it's becoming the vast majority hemp seed. And that's the foundation of all of this. We need to feed our bodies and feed our temples, and out from there, yes.
It's no coincidence that this is also a year of an election, a very big election, because, you know, the presidential candidate, you know, the laws we pick, everything that happens this year is going to kind of affect the rest of our lives and our children's lives, and everyone after that. You know, and we have a chance right now to do something huge, not only for California, not only for the United States, but for the entire world.
World peace.
Love. People really look up to California. You know, I moved here from Texas for that reason. Yeah, that's right. We're all here from somewhere because we felt something, you know, a magical pull to this state. That's for sure.
Yeah, belly of the beast.
Yeah, and everyone looks to us for, you know, the marijuana progress, pretty much. Everyone thinks California, you're in the lead, you know, you're doing it right. You're you know, setting the precedent for the rest of the country, and they're right. And I think we should continue that and just legalize it, you know, hemp and cannabis.
Industry, money crackling back and forth, a lot of investment, a lot of people flooding in from out of the state into this new renaissance thing that could happen if we can do one thing, which is a massive PR campaign to do and to sell what I've been trying to pitch to you over the networks and every way you can think of, that hemp is more than a drug and that you can build houses out of it. We've got lumber yards in Oregon that already have created massive timbers. They've learned how to center the pot, the herds, down so fine a granulation, and then they have to find a way to explode it into even finer granulation, and then finally super powdered stuff, which they make with heat and other things, becomes a plastic, and you can make massive timbers out of it that support over wide, long spans. It can become stronger than steel. You can take hemp, you can make stone out of it. It can be turned into paving.
Anything.
It is an amazing plant. It's all spelled out in The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Go reacquaint yourself with what Jack told you. Try and translate it into something that is PR, because at some point, the couple of $1 million that we're talking about will pop up out of nowhere, and in a couple of weeks, will have the signatures, and we won't have to stand in front of supermarkets doing it unless we want to earn an extra buck.
Care initiative, it's a slam dunk. Once it's to the ballot, you explain a couple basic points of what makes it different from running a vineyard. How many people do we know who run vineyards in this state? There may be 100, 150, right? That's not the picture of the future cannabis industry. The future cannabis industry is anybody in the state will be able to grow enough cannabis to feed themselves and start making things out of it. The Central Valley will start producing it at a level that
self-sustainability.
We'll be sharing hemp with the world here in no time at all. So it's on those levels that we need to get people heartfelt involved, creatively, personally, and embedded in this movement.
On the social and political level to pass this legislation. And it also means for us to integrate it into our daily lives. As Patrick said, you know, we have an endocannabinoid system in our bodies that is basically can only be fulfilled by the cannabis plant in all its shapes and forms. So that includes eating and topically and, you know, everything that our clothes, everything. So exactly, it's essence. And so so it's our responsibility to integrate that into our own lives and bring it at the forefront of the consciousness around those that we engage with, all our relations, our families, our children. I also work with young people, so I encourage them to learn about it, understand it. It's science, it's mythos, it's everything, every aspect of it. And so it's our responsibility as teachers to share with all, because we're all teachers and students on this earth, learning, and we'll continue to learn until we go on to a new space. And we're in a particularly, as Sarah was saying, a very special point in time in our cosmos. The cosmos is on our side. I think all of us really feel that on some level in our lives, and we have fertile ground to nurture and take care of, so that come this springtime we will have a mobilization of people, of young people, the opportunity to be active, to be a change in our society in this country that if we don't actually embark on physical change is doomed. And the rest of the world as well. So this is our opportunity again to bring integrity back to Mother Earth and all her aspects, through the plant, through cannabis and cannabis marijuana, and
so this is the time for that to happen. And you know, you guys are all here for a reason, because you are all magical, wonderful beings, and you have something very special inside of you, or you wouldn't be here today. You know, you have all tapped into the energy. So thank you guys for being conscious and aware of that. You know, and let's gather signatures and actually pass this thing. Let's do it for Jack. Let's do it for ourselves. Let's do it for our future. Let's do it for
Yes.
What I'm really trying to say is we need a voice. I think that a hemp initiative that is based completely upon Jack's initiative, which is extravagant in some measure, but anything that's taken out of that document, I think, harms it. Jack spent a long time refining that language, and he did many petitions before this one. And so he knew what he was talking about when he put together that petition, which is basically a call for complete legalization, no more administration, no worrying about wine laws or any other damn thing. Let your problem is whether your kid smokes it or not. But let us warn everybody, when we start to grow this stuff on an industrial level, it'll contaminate with pollen every really high-test plant you have growing in your backyard. It'll be everywhere. You'll have to zip up the spaces where you try to grow some of this medicinal marijuana. So there's upside and there's a downside. But it is a jobs issue. It is a get America rolling again. It is to change the ground rules. And I think that it can be combined with this Occupy idea. Absolutely. Because I've been studying up on money, the evolution of it, the uses of it, the Rothschilds, some of the fabulous money in the past. And we know that money calls the shots, because even Bush a Republican as he was happy to sign onto TARP and bail out the banks, which is not the banks. It's the people that have their deposits in the banks. The money, the big money. We've got to find a way to let the big money know that this is a grand opportunity for them to gobble up space, to invest in hemp futures, to find ways to control us. And I'm sure they will. They're smart as hell. Anyway, hemp is more than a drug. Hemp is more than a drug. Sure, it's a drug. Sure, it's a mild euphoric. Sure, it's a mind-expanding substance. Sure, it's holy.